We're good. We should be good. It's going. There we go.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is our new day and time. 4:30 on Thursdays. I'm glad it works for the people here. Hopefully it works well for everybody. Tuesdays just weren't working anymore. We're back and we have a new logo. I don't think all the leaders have even seen the new logo. What do you think, you guys?
Love it.
Yeah, so we have to change all of our branding. We'll do it slowly. I got Twitter done, I got Facebook done, and we got the slide decks done. So we'll slowly work on, me and Robin are slowly working on the website to get that updated. But for now, this is what we got. We are losing some leaders and we're adding some leaders, so there'll be some change in here, but everybody knows that leadership in GEG is not exclusive in any way. You do not need to be a tech genius, anything, to be a leader. And in fact, because Mimi has left us, we're actually doing it different this year. Leaders are picking a meeting to lead, and they get to be the boss of everything. So everybody is welcome to be a leader in GEG if there is something you want to share or teach or anything like that. We still have the norms. Mute yourself, use the chat for comments, questions, have fun. We'll have a small group, so I'm not really worried about it tonight. So if you want to ask questions, just chime on in. If we get a bigger group, then we'll have to lock down on that one. Our Google group, I believe everyone in here is already in our Google group, but if you are not, there is a link right here. Oh, let me throw the link to the slide deck. Here's the link to the slide deck so you guys can actually join us, so that when we get to a link, you can actually click it. The Google group is our official email distributor. Please ask questions about tech tools to the Google group, even if you think they're small, because we like answering questions. It's kind of what we do. Every single person in this room is an overachiever. So let's overachieve. We do have the celebration form, and we did get a celebration form filled out this week, so we got to put that on the website. But when you fill the form, we like to know about your celebrations no matter what they are. But if they're Google related, we will put you on the website. Going over to look at the website right now. Here's our website, and here's the Google Nevada educators. So anybody that has a Google certification gets to show up on our website. You don't have to. You can just do your name if you'd like, but we like pictures because we like to get to know people. And also, if you have a friend who you know has a Google certification, we want to advertise them. So please get them to fill out the form. So the form is indeed on the website. You can find it on the top of the page right here, but then it's always going to be in our slide deck also. So keep that in mind. Our mission is to build a community of educators from around Nevada who empower, inspire, share, and learn together, united in a common interest to leverage technology for transformation and learning. And I think it's still pretty accurate. I don't think we need to update it. I like to transform some education, doing some stuff. So our to-dos today, when we got to do the attendance form. That's the first thing we're going to do. Now, we do an attendance form every single time we meet, even when we meet just as leaders. And the reason we fill that out is because we send numbers to Google. And through those numbers, that's how we get sponsors to do things. So a lot of times we'll get subscriptions to tech tools and things like that that we can bring back to the group and demo and stuff like that. But if we don't have the numbers, then people aren't going to want to sponsor us. So we fill that out. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to get to do a get to know you activity. We're going to ask really important questions like, what's your favorite go-to cold beverage? Kyle. Inside joke there. We'll explain it a little later. And then we're going to call the tool of the day TNT. So it's tech and tool. So it could be just a tech related item, or it could actually be an actual tool that we're doing. And today we're doing Gmail. I'm going to do some cool tips and tricks. And then Scott is going to go through the Google updates. I'm not going to lie to you. GEG Ohio is one of my favorite GEGs because their meeting is always so meaty. You learn so much. So we usually steal from them to do the Google updates. So Scott's going to take that away when we get there. And then we are going to have the last 10 minutes for open forum where you guys can bring up anything you want. We can talk about anything you want. I'd prefer not to talk about the meeting last night. A little too stressful there. But anyway, okay, so here's the attendance form. So the attendance form, you can click on the link right up here. Oops, no, you can't. Robin, where did we put that?
Uh-oh. Was it not the link on the site?
Can we use the QR code? Can we try to use
You
the
can,
QR?
yes, you can use the QR code.
Words, attendance form itself. The words attendance form.
I'm clicking on it.
Oh, mine worked. Are you on the right one?
I'm in preview.
Weird.
Well, we'll just go get that right now. No
the link
big
that
deal.
you put in, it actually worked on my side.
Well, hopefully it works for everybody else, but I'll go grab it and drop it in the chat while I'm at it.
But yes, you can use the QR code. It'll take you there as well.
Yeah, the QR code totally worked.
Awesome.
I think I need to get a better phone. My QR code's not.
That's because you don't have an iPhone. That's why.
When you get the cheap Android, then you don't. The phone doesn't know. Just teasing.
All right, so there's the Google form.
It worked perfectly great on my Google Pixel.
There you go.
I'm gonna go fill it out here. I love how mine are so auto-saved that I just have to like click my name and all the information fills in.
Yep.
What's today's date? 9/2?
Yeah. Crazily enough, somehow it's September.
I know, right? Whew. Okay, that's done. I'll put it up again later just in case anybody did not get the attendance form. Get to know you. All right. Me and Robin thought this one up. We're going to do Wheel of Names, but instead of names, we have questions to drop in the chat. So I'm going to go to this tool. Apparently I'm not. I'm not clickable. That's the problem.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we're going to spin and we're going to do a question. And then we're going to put it in the chat and we're going to waterfall. So if you guys have never waterfall before, you put your answer in the chat, but you don't hit enter until we say ready, set, go. And we're only going to do a couple questions, but we wanted lots of options so that we had lots of options. And I did not do what's your favorite go-to frozen beverage, Kyle.
No, it was caffeinated.
Caffeinated beverage.
Yeah.
Okay, first question. Type it in the chat, but do not answer it yet. What is your favorite cereal? And then I can follow up telling you my students' overall favorite cereal if you'd like. Okay, I got mine ready. I'll give 15 more seconds. Three, two, one, enter. Oh, Captain Crunch with marshmallows, huh? Okay,
I
so
forgot about Golden Grams. Damn it.
Only a treat.
my students overall, every single class had the same #1 cereal. It is in the chat. Can you guess what the students' favorite cereal was? You guys can just blurt it out.
Fruit Loops.
Lucky Charms.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, yeah, they get that
Every
at
single class, that was the #1.
They get that at breakfast sometimes. Huh?
But they get the healthy version.
Oh,
Okay,
not
so
in
we're-
elementary. In elementary, we get the regular Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah? I know the Doritos are not the same. No, the Doritos are the low-fat ones. Oh. Okay, we'll remove that one. Let's do another one. Are you an early bird or a night owl? Drop it in the chat. Don't hit enter yet. Ten seconds. Three, two, one. Drop it. Seriously, you guys? You guys know you picked teaching as a profession, right? I'm the only early bird in here. Okay. Well,
I'm both. Does that count?
How many hours of sleep a night do you get, Kyle?
I'm good on 5.5 to 6.
Oh, see, I'm not. I have to go to bed pretty early, but then I'm okay getting up early. Man, you guys, we can't hang out anymore. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, this is a good one. What superpower would you wish for? I didn't think about this. Give it a little longer on this one. This one's hard. Okay, 3, 2, 1, enter. Strength to lift Thor's hammer. Robin, what is multiplicity? You could make more than one of you?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be convenient.
Get it all done.
Flying. Make all people kind. Aw, Joanne. Heart. Teleportation. Night vision. Okay. Definitely don't have that. Being invisible and time travel. Excellent. Yeah, time travel is yeah. Definitely. That'd be so useful for like investments and stuff.
Even just like the Google for 30 seconds. Even if you could go back 30 seconds, like Google Mail, that would be worth it.
But you can, and I will teach you how. So I saw a meme the other day and I wish I had kept it, but it was a time traveling meme. And the guy's like sitting there and you can tell everybody's crowded around him and they're listening to him. And somebody in the crowd says, "But how would you get this electricity?" And he's like, "I don't know." I always use that for an example of abstraction in my classroom. Okay, that was fun. Yay. The get to know you activity. Good times. Close out that one. Head back to our meeting. Ooh, Tech Tool of the Month. That's me this time. Next time it won't be, but it gets to be me. We are going to go through some of the highlights of Gmail, and this is going to be a really tough crowd to impress, but hopefully anybody playing this on replay will get some good Gmail tips. Me and Scott have actually done this as a live presentation, but it was supposed to be an hour, and we accidentally made it like an hour and 25 minutes because Scott and I talked too much. But we are going to be working on Gmail today. So I'm going to zoom in here.
Surprise.
So what?
I said, surprise, surprise. We talked too much.
Oops. I always hit the wrong button.
I promise I'll keep muted when you actually start your presentation.
Oh, no. This is good. Okay, how's the view? Everybody can see it okay? Zoomed in enough? All right. Well, the first thing by the way, I do this with students too. I don't hit all of these, but these are the ones I hit with students. I say, okay, so first of all, we are in Gmail and we're going to look at some of the main features today, and we can't hit them all, but we are going to hit a few of them. Most of the features do start with the settings, so we're going to go into the settings. Now, when you go to the settings, it opens up a sidebar, and the most popular settings are going to be in this panel that pulls out. But if you go to see all settings, look at all these, you guys, and I can even zoom out a little bit. Gmail is one of Google's most complex tools. It has got more functionality than any of the other tools that I know of. And even in general, there's like 70 different things you can do. So we're going to do a couple of those today. And I just want to point out some of the big major ones. And then the first one is going back in time. You can actually time travel in Google. If you're under general, so make sure the general is highlighted in blue, there is something called undo send. And I like to set it at its maximum. Its maximum is 30 seconds. I think it defaults to 5 or something, but I set it at max. And what this is when I hit send, the email is not actually going to send right away. It's going to give me a little uh-oh time. So when I'm like, oh crud, I spelled that word wrong. Oh crud, I forgot to say something right. I can actually hit undo and it will do that. And I will be showing that to you today. What I do wish it did have that it does not have is I wish in the option when that undo send button comes up, it had a send now anyway button. That'd be very convenient because sometimes I'm having a conversation with a student or something and I want to get there a little faster. So I wish that one was in there. The next one I'm going to go to is signatures. Having a signature in your email is so important. To create a new signature, what you're going to do is you're going to click Create New. Now, you do have to give it a name because you might need more than one signature. For example, maybe you're a coach and a teacher, and sometimes you want to send the email with a signature that's the coach, and sometimes you want to send the email with a signature that's the teacher. So you can go in here and write teacher signature. Have you ever noticed the worst typing is when you're doing training or somebody else is watching you? It's so like that. Okay, so teacher signature, we're going to go ahead and create. And then I'm going to type it over here. So maybe Dana Cooney, probably have my school, what I teach. And then you might want your email in there. I can't type. Once you have everything done, you are going to go have to pick that signature right here. So right here, I have no signature listed. So I can come down here and I've got two options. I have the Dana Cooney, which was the original one I had, or I have Teacher Sig, and that's going to be my new one. And I want to use that one right now. So I'm going to say for new emails, I'm going to use Teacher Sig. And on reply forward, I'm also going to use Teacher Sig. But in the dropdown, I can actually change that signature at any time that I want. But I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. And then whenever you make changes in settings, nothing saves. How many times have you guys done changes and forgot to hit save? Kind of like Canvas when you're changing like anything. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down and we're going to hit save. And now whenever I make an email, that signature is going to be in there and I'm going to see that. Okay, but we don't care about that right now. Let's actually get to our list. Now, all of these things are in the slide deck, but I'm not using the slide deck because I'm in Gmail and I can show you this stuff in here. One of the most important things you can know how to do is change an email to not read. So let's say I have an email right here. And it's pretty important. It says action required. So I actually have to do something with this. But I open it at 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with this right now because I'm not a night owl. There's several things I can do. One of the things I can do is just go ahead and mark it as unread. That way it goes back to unread and I can deal with it in the morning. Now, if I have a little more time and I don't want to do that, something I can do is I could snooze it. So the snooze is right up here. It's the little clock and I can click in and I say, well, I'm not going to deal with this right now, but I wish it would come back to me as an unread message in a little bit. So I'm going to do that and I want it later today at 6 p.m. So I'm going to select later today at 6 p.m. and it will actually come back into my inbox as a new message at 6 p.m. So I don't see it right now. Now, if I do need to get to it before then, I can go ahead and go to see all emails. I need to pull these down a little bit. If I go to all mail, it will indeed be in there. So I can still find it, but it's going to come back into my inbox at 6 p.m. tonight, looking like a brand new email. Now, if we go back into settings, something that bugs me sometimes is I forget what all these things mean. So what I can do is I can actually turn those into words. I'm going to go to my settings. And of course, I need to go to see all settings. And I'm going to change these to words. And I can't remember what they're called. So I'm going to look for them. I wrote it down. Oh, they're called. Oh, maybe I didn't write it down. Oh, button labels. They're called button labels. Ah, button labels. Right now, my button labels are icons, but I can change them to text, especially for teachers who are a little bit new to Gmail and don't know those icons. Text is usually a pretty good one to do. So now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to hit Save Changes. And now when I go into an email, you can see all of these are words. So now I don't have to know the icon. So if I need to snooze it, it actually says snooze. If I need to archive it, it actually says archive. So that can be helpful, especially with newer teachers. Now we are going to create a template. So I was at a meeting this week and they said, hey, whenever students are out because of COVID, they're going to contact you and you need to give them directions. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to create an email template that gives them the directions for what to do when they're out. So let's say, there, we'll ruin this one. There we go. Okay, so let's say this one was from a student. It's actually from me. I know that because it says me, but I'm going to pretend it's from a student. And I want to send them an email. So before I answer that, I'm going to go ahead and make an email template. So I'm going to come up here to the little pencil and I'm going to compose an email. Now I've already composed an email right here. So let me go grab it. And I'm going to paste it in here. And really importantly, I'm going to change the subject to student directions. Okay. Now, I have that template there, but the problem is I don't have templates turned on. So I wonder where I'm probably going to do that. Oh, I know, settings, because that's where we do everything. So I'm going to come up here to the gear again and click settings, and I'm going to click see all settings. Oh, I'm going to minimize this one. And anytime Google has a newer feature, they tend to put it in advanced. And then once it's no longer a newer feature, it goes in general in one of the other tabs. But templates are still considered pretty new. So they're in advanced right here. And we come down and you see templates right here. And we want to enable those because we want to create templates for our students. So we're going to go ahead and click enable. And don't forget, you got to hit save. So we're going to go down and hit the save. And now those should be enabled. So when I bring my, oh, my draft went away. I got to go get my draft. Student directions. Okay, so I'm going to turn this into a template. So here's the steps to turn it into a template. I'm going to come down here to the 3 dots. Whenever you see 3 dots in Google, that means more. And I'm going to come up here to templates. Now, when you're trying to teach someone else this and they say, but I don't see my templates, you say, that's because you didn't turn them on. Oh, but I did. You didn't hit save. Okay, so then they're going to hit save and their templates are going to be here. And you can see I already have some templates in here, but I want a new template. So I'm going to save the draft as a template, and I could overwrite the ones I have by selecting these, but I'm going to select a new template, and it's going to be called student directions. And I'm going to go ahead and save. Now it's saved as a template, and I don't even need it anymore. I can just put it away. Because now I'm going to go to this me, who is me, and I'm going to reply to me, who's a student, with the template. So to do that, I'm going to hit reply, come down to the 3 dots, go up to the templates, and pick the one that I just wrote, which was student directions. And it pops in there and I can go ahead and hit send, and it took me about 15 seconds. So I can answer all those student emails. Okay, but not only that, but they also told me at my meeting this week that not only do I have to respond to their emails with directions for what they need to do, but I need to mark them participating in Infinite Campus. I don't have time to do that during the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the star color. Stars have many, many options. I wonder where we could set those, probably in settings. So we're going to go up to settings, and we're going to go to see all settings. And in general, because it's a pretty popular one, we're going to come down here till we see a bunch of beautiful stars. All of these are in use. All of these are not in use. If there's one in use that I don't want, I can easily pull it down. If there's one that I do want, I can easily pull it up. So, but whenever I make changes, I have to make sure I scroll down to the bottom and hit save. So now this me email, it's pretty important because I have to take this Dana person and I have to make sure they're marked as participating. So I'm going to take a particular star color and I can just click through them until I get the star that I want. And I've decided we're going to do this. Whenever I see these, I know it's going to be a student who I have to mark participating later in the day. The next thing I want to do is I have some to-do steps. For example, this one right here says action required. That means I actually have something I need to do, but I don't have time to do it right now. So what I'm going to do is come up here and I'm going to add it to my tasks. So I can simply click add to tasks. And look at what I just did. The taskbar popped out in a slide bar. And it put my email in a task. So later, when I go back to do these things, I can check it off. And for those of you who are type A, you know you feel much more complete if you're crossing something off or checking it off. So later, when I get to this, I can simply check it off and it will go away. If you can't find your taskbar, it can always be found right down here. And you can click the little arrow so it goes on and goes off and goes on and goes off and goes on. And then you can click tasks and it's going to be right there. Okay, so let's say I want to send Scott an email. And Scott, it's like 10 o'clock at night, and Scott is not a night owl. Scott, did you say you were a night owl or not a night owl?
I am a night owl.
Okay, so pretend he's not. Pretend it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I want to send him an email, but I don't want to bug him at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's fine.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule send
I'm
this.
right in the middle of this meet. GEG.
Hey, mute yourself, Scott.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of just hitting send, I'm going to click the little down arrow right next to the send, and I'm going to pick schedule send. And now I can pick a time where it's going to send to Scott. Now Scott's going to get an email. Now I can always view email by scheduled right here. There's a flag right here. So let's say between now and when it sends, I remember something I need to add. I can always go to schedule and edit it before it's sent.
The answer is yes, I did finish the updates.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
I was adding, yeah, that's very cool. I didn't know about this adding stars. I'm sitting here working on adding stars and I wasn't paying attention.
All right, so here's the one I scheduled to send, but I decided I don't want to schedule send it anymore. I just want to go ahead and send it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send, and I want you to see what happens down here. Message sent, but not really. It's not really sent because I have a 30-second wait. And while we're waiting, we can either click undo and it will pop up and not send, or we can just view the message to make sure it was good. And this one has saved me so many times, that 30 seconds, but I wish they had a button that said send now. so I wouldn't have to wait when I was really, really sure I could send it. Because sometimes when I'm communicating with students, especially when I work at MBLA, so I work at the online school, so we're constantly going back and forth, and they have to wait 30 extra seconds between messages. I wish we didn't have to do that. Next, we're going to do labels. Oh, you guys, this one, you could just spend hours talking about labels. As you guys can see, I have tons of emails from Google Workspace. They're actually not that exciting, but I want to go ahead and put them in a folder. But they are not called folders in Gmail. I put it in a folder. No, you didn't. You put it in a label. That's what they're called in Gmail. So we're going to create a label, which essentially is a folder. But what I'm going to do to create that label and filter it, so all the emails I get in the future from Google Workspace are going to go ahead and have this label on it, and I won't have to label it by hand. I'm going to come up here to this button, the search options. Is that what the button's called? Does anybody have a cute nickname for that one? We should come up with a cute nickname for that one, like the equalizer. Doesn't it look like an equalizer? So let's make it a thing. Okay, so we're going to click the equalizer, and I'm going to put the email address in here. So anytime I get an email from workplace-reply@google.com, I want to do some stuff to it. First of all, I want to create a filter. So I'm going to come down here and click create a filter. I could have it skip the inbox and go straight to archive because these people are driving me nuts, but I'm not going to do that. I could mark it as read because you know how sometimes you want to get those promotions from Kohl's, but you don't want to read them every time? You could just go ahead and mark them as read. Ooh, you could star it. If this was a student, I could totally star it so I knew I had to mark them present or whatever, but I'm going to add it to a label. Now, I don't have any labels right now. So when I click on apply a label, it's going to have me add a new label. And I'm just going to call it Google. And as you can see, if you already have some labels, you can nest them under there. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create. I could also choose to delete it. Like if it came from Scott and I didn't want to read it, it could go straight to delete. I also have some other options here, but there's one that categories. Categories. That's good too. We haven't talked about categories. I wasn't going to talk about categories today, but I'm going to do that next time. Next time I'm going to add that on there. So this one down here, also apply filter to 10 matching conversations. That means all the workspace emails that are already in there are also going to get this label. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit create filter. And that's lovely. Now they all have a filter on them, but it's not pretty. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I don't think it created it. Or am I in it? Oh, there it is. Oh, I found it. I found it. I lost it, but I found it. Don't worry. But it's really ugly. I couldn't find it because it's really ugly. It's gray and it matches all the other ones. I definitely want to switch that because I need it to stand out because I lost it before. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change the label color and I have all these colors to choose from. I can even add a custom color if I'm good with hex or RGB. So I'm going to pick a green because whenever I think of Google, I think of green. And now every email from that email address has a label on it and it's colored so I can easily see which ones were from them. Well, those are my top 9 tips for Google Gmail. I don't think many people in here learned anything, but you can steal my slides and then you got a resource at least.
Pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, going through the slides. There they are. I have all GIFs and stuff like that for my slides, so you can use them to go teach other people if you want. Anything I make, you can steal. Just keep my name in there or something. Okay, Scott. We are up with Scott. Scott now is going to go through some Google updates. So I'm going to mute and let you take over. Do you want me to stop presenting?
Yeah, I'm going to present.
Okay.
Dana, I just want you to know there are some things that people have not heard about or have forgot. There are three things in your presentation that I'm working on, I actually wrote down, which there's several. I mean, I presented with you and I learned 3 things. So I don't know what that says about me. All right, so if you are an avid fan of the Ohio GEG Nevada group, GEG group, you'll heard some of this already. I went ahead and they make a document, they talk about updates, and they make a document, and there were hundreds of changes or updates to Google this past June, July, and August. I'm just gonna hit a few of the highlights. These are the same highlights that they talked about last Thursday during the GEG Ohio. And I'm just going to show them. I'm going to just present my screen, and there may be some new stuff. It may be new to everybody. It may be new just to me, but I'm going to go through this pretty fast. So it's not going to be boring. And again, you don't have to worry about any links. The links are, I want to make sure I'm on the right thing here. The links are all on that document. And that document, be careful, is editable. There are 500 people, just under 500 people that go to that meeting, and it's editable by everybody who goes to that meeting. It's a lot of fun. I learn a lot. Sometimes I have to watch the video, and the link to the video is there as well. All right, so we're just gonna go, this is a very fast highlights of changes across different items, and then somebody just speak if you can't hear me or see my board. Just let me know, okay? Because I'm not looking at I'm sharing my whole screen. Are we good to go, Dana? Can you see the fonts?
Yep, we are good.
All right, so they've added 60 fonts, but I didn't know there are thousands of fonts, over 1,000 fonts already in Google. There were 60 that were added, but I had heard about this before, fonts.google.com, and you can find these fonts listed. But this is the coolest site. This site's been around for a while, but you can actually type in whatever you want at this site, fonts.google.com, and you can find those new fonts here as well. But I like that you can see them. And what I love about this is that you can change the font properties. If you want to just look for fonts that were slanted or have a separate a width or thickness, you can go ahead inside of Google Font homepage. Now again, this page is not new, but I remembered it and went back and looked at it, and I like how easy it is to search. So if you found something that wasn't already installed, you can go right into, this one right here, and then pull it up under more fonts when you're doing I'll just pull it up right here. So if you want to look up, if you're not familiar, most of you know how to do this, but if you're not familiar with how to add fonts, you can go into your fonts on your document. Where are they? Sorry. Of course. Anybody tell me? Text, here we go. Am I missing it? Oh, sorry, right here. I'm nervous. All right, right under fonts, click more fonts, and then you can just type in the title of your font or go in and dig for all the different types of fonts that are here, but you can search through fonts by just typing in here. One of the cool fonts that I did not know about that I think is kind of new, oh, and by the way, anybody can chip in while we're talking about this, is I really like this font that I just learned about, and you guys already know about, Railway dots. I wrote it down somewhere. Somebody know how to spell it? Oh, sorry, I've got to reset my fonts here. Railway dots. Have you guys seen this one? If you have, just bear with me, but if not, it's kind of neat. It is really useful for doing fonts that kids can trace in elementary grades, kind of cool, called railway dots. All right. You saw this earlier. If you joined in, they have some animated GIFs that are now useful for backgrounds. And there's only 3 that are available right now. They're going to add more, but be careful because Dana found some objectionable items in this one. This is a new accepting somebody's invitation. You can now say yes, or yes, I'm going to be joining you in the actual room, or no, or yes, I'm going to be joining you virtually. So there's a way now that you can, in this age of hybrid meetings, you can choose what, if you're going to be there in person or virtually. And again, I'm just going to go down the thing. This started about 4 years ago. All of you know about this, but there is some really cool new content to the internet awesome initiative that Google started 4 years ago. Great videos, lots of games. It's really a curriculum about how to be safe online. But if you dig down, there's some really cool family guide that's down here and some really cool PSA videos that kids can watch with their parents on how to be safe. There's a lot of new content that they've added to this. So if you haven't been here for a while, like I was really active in it 4 years ago when it came out, but then I didn't go to it again, it's time to revisit it. And I love they have, as part of the Internet Awesome, they have this great family site. What are families asking Google? How much screen time is too much for my kid? Sometimes I know we get overwhelmed, but sometimes it's good to check in with parents and kind of give them, or if they ask, give them some instruction. And this does it for you, kind of. In Google Meet, they have a new hand waving. I don't know if you guys have seen this or if it's live on nv.ccsd.net, but it actually identifies the hand, and that when after the participant is done speaking, the hand automatically lowers, so you're not stuck with all these hands that you have to either go in or they have to go in and lower. So that's one of the, hopefully, somebody unmute and tell me if they already have that available.
I'd like to say the last time we had a hand raise, it didn't work. Why don't we try that? Hang on one second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm talking now. So is it going to go down? So I just got a little box that said, it sounds like you said something, so your hand will be lowered. And then I have the option to keep it raised.
That's great. Thank you. I'm still presenting. All right. This is kind of cool. I'm not going to really play it for you, but if you're not familiar with, and it's been around for a long time, Google has arts and culture, which has these great museums and virtual spaces around the world to take kids on field trips. But they just added 2 new really cool art and music-based experiments this summer. And one is paint with music. And this is great to, maybe tie in, send this to your art and music teacher, or to have kids play this. This is kind of something that kind of an extended, you literally choose, and I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I don't want to really take the time, but you can kind of see, it's really cool. You can open it up on your screen and play it, but it'll go ahead and you can change the instrument and it plays it. You can kind of see it. You may not be able to hear it. Really, that was a really cool one. And also, you can actually create your own melodies. And this is the second one, and harmonize it in the form of Bach, in the style of Bach, Mozart, or Beethoven. I just did I'll tell you what this is: hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. And then, so you just heard it. And then you sit there and harmonize it. It's kind of cool. And an algorithm takes that style of harmonization and makes this kind of cool musical experiment. Something you might want to try with your kids, kind of a fun activity, or to give to your teachers. It's thinking. I don't think you can play it. Maybe I can, well, at the end if there's time. Okay, you see how that works. This is in the middle of that. This is Eric Kurtz's basic information about the 40 Google features that were added this summer. I'm not even going to go over half of them, but there are 40 top changes. I'm going to go over a few of them, but this is in the middle of that document that I sent you. Here's a really cool one. If you haven't seen it, you can unpin. This was a big thing. It was covering up kids' faces, And now they've made it so where you can take this presentation and you can unpin your presentation so you can still see all the kids while you're sharing with them. This is a cool one. I know that you can now add co-hosts. This is something we've been waiting for a long time. I think the limit is actually 24 co-hosts, but this is extremely, if anybody who's ever been in a meet with more than such and such kids or people, this is a great feature, adding a co-host. All right, this is a great one. You can pin more than one person to a screen. You can have 2 or 3 pinned at once and bring them up. This is awesome also. For the first time ever, you can now publicly go live in YouTube with your streaming. Before, there was live broadcasting or streaming, but it was usually, I think, in your domain. Now it can go publicly and present. And what's nice about the streaming part is also, the streaming also has live streaming captions for people that are hard of hearing or who help. It's helpful for them to see those captions, and that's included in the live streaming part. This is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. They're called smart. They're called smart chips. Kind of cool. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger here. Smart chips are just a way to quickly embed documents or people. So if I'm here, I can just type in, this is at Dana, and I can sit there and click on Dana, and embedded in my document or my slide or whatever is her information by simply doing at and then typing that in. Same thing for documents, doing at, and it'll pull from your, it was already up here, but you can type in the title or you can see it, and you can sit there and embed documents, especially good for group work where multiple people are working a document at the same time. You can sit there and quickly, instead of having to go and get the link and paste it, you can just embed links into your workflow. This is kind of neat if you're familiar with the old sites. Google Sites doesn't really have a way for you to make templates, but either now or coming soon is a way for you to create templates and save them for your domain. For example, if you wanted your kids to do a portfolio, instead of them walking through all the steps of new template or how to use Google Sites for the very first time, you can make a portfolio template for your class and have them open your template in Sites, so they don't have to do all that base work. If you want them just to use it for some form work you're doing, some sort of project, a content-based project, where you have to teach them Sites and then you have to teach them the content. This is really, if you want to have a template done for you, this is something that's new available. Any comments? Are you guys still there?
You're blowing my mind.
All right. Well, I think you're joking, but it's nice that you're saying that. So most of you probably know there's a few changes to forms. And I didn't have this even on my demo account, and you guys tell me if you see it, but there is lots more text. You can see a lot more text options inside of Google Forms. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe somebody else has seen it, but that's either here or being coming out soon. The other thing, a lot of you have seen this, that they do have auto save inside of Forms, and I'll show you really quickly how you can turn that off, but really useful. For example, if you happen to create a form and one of your classes doesn't have to answer all the questions on a quiz or test, and you made those questions mandatory so the kids can't move forward. Well, in the old days, you would go back and change your master, and all the kids would have to start over again because you went in and changed a question on the original form. That is done now. You can go ahead and change the master, take off a required question, and now kids' information will still stay on the form as filled out. Now, the biggest problem at Miller was that we just had Chromebooks crash during testing, and they would have to start over again, or during a test or quiz or unit quiz. That goes away too when this is saved. But if you don't want that, you can just go into the settings. It's under presentation and click under disable autosave for all respondents. So it's enabled automatically by default, but you can turn that off. All right, we're almost done. Some changes you guys have seen, especially Google trainers and Google leaders. You've seen that they are making some changes tailored to ages, 18 and under. And I think this is something that happens on the back end. The districts had to go in and take all of our kids and put them in certain OUs so that, and to take teachers and put them in OUs so that the permissions are different for each group of people. So that's either coming down. It says as of September 1st, your kids, if you have kids who are not able to access things that maybe they were able to access, it may be because the district needs to make some changes and move kids into different groups. All right. I told you about this live broadcasting or live streaming now available with instant captioning, which is cool. And something I thought was interesting in calendars, lots of changes, but one of them is that you can set your work location. I just saw this for the first time today. Some of you may have gotten this, but we don't really share calendars. But if you do share calendars with other colleagues, you can choose your default working location. That is about 1/4 of, let me stop here, of all the changes. And I hope that was worthwhile. I hope somebody learned something. And Melanie will even lie to me because Melanie is really close and she'll say she learned a lot. So, all right, somebody has a question.
I just have to review it over and over again because just to remember all those different steps. But thank you for sharing that because those are pretty cool.
There's some fun stuff, some cool stuff. And there's a lot of other boring stuff too that got changed too. But I'm done with my.
Sarah has her hand raised.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go for it.
That was an accident. I didn't mean to raise my hand. I hit it on accident, but I did say that I was going to say I did learn some things. So thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Everybody, just raise your hand when I ask this question. Did everybody learn something? Just lie to me and say that. All right, that's great. Just so that I can. All right, you raised your hand, Dana. Good job, Dana. Back to you.
All right. Well, we are coming to the end, but we do have open forum. Is there anything anybody wanted to bring up, talk about, questions to be had, any of that good stuff?
Hey, I was wondering, and this is probably just not happening, but when are they going to make or have they? Is that one of the newest things since you only gave us 1/4 there, Scott? But something where it is easier to manipulate the graphic images and stuff in Google Docs, where it becomes a little more user friendly when you're trying to insert graphics and type text around it, and it's still like even for kids, it's a little bit iffy. So I'm just curious if anything's new is with that.
Oh, if that's specific to me, yeah. Google Slides. I use Google Slides, Melanie. Even when I'm doing if I want a kid it look like a piece of paper, I just have them change the margins to 8.5 by 11, so it looks like they're typing on a Google Doc. But
okay.
You can go in and custom change the size of a slide by simply just go to File, Custom, Size, and change it to 8.5 by 11. So it looks like it's a Google slide, but it's the shape and size of a Google Doc. And then you can just add text boxes. And what's so nice about this, the images are so much easier to use. So even if they print it out, it looks like they printed out a regular document, but the images are so much easier to move around on that.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
They have,
What?
oh, sorry, Christia, go.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they have made some updates, though, to images in documents over the last few months. They have, where there are a lot more options in regards to size and rotation, text wrapping, the position of it. So there is, if you click on, when you insert an image, or actually we can show this next month even too. When you insert an image, you have an option to edit and then see all the options, and it'll pull it up on the side where you have a lot more features than what they used to offer.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I'll play with it. That's
Yeah,
great.
definitely one thing to remember with all your Google tools is Google really made them to be accessible and easy to use without all the bells and whistles. Like if you think of a Microsoft Word or a Keynote, what is their thing? Pages? I can't remember. Well, they're super complicated. They're super robust, right? You can do so many things with them, but they are more complicated. So Google wants you really to be able to sit down and kind of jump into their tools right away and be able to do it. So they kind of resist adding all these like tools and features because they want to keep it really streamlined. But they do have to kind of compete with those other things. So we might see more things sneak in there. But as Joanne said, it has improved dramatically, images and docs over the last little bit of time. So we can always hope.
Very
Good
cool. Thank
question. And I would love to see, like, in the next meeting, like, I don't know who's going to do the next meeting. Nobody signed up yet. So if it is me, we could just do some basic Google tools to do some of those images and things like that, and do a hyperdoc and create some of that stuff right in a hyperdoc. I think that'd be a great meeting. Excellent. Good question. Any other questions before we shut her down?
I have a Canvas question, just a generic. Can teachers create modules that they can share with other teachers? And if they can, does that have to be shared within your domain, or can you share with you could share with a teacher in Ohio or somewhere else, as long as it's Canvas based?
So personally, what I do is when I'm creating things with other people, because you guys know I work with the global group, Canvas is a free service. So I actually have a free Canvas account. And then anyone with a free Canvas account can jump on with me. At any time, I can download the file and upload it in my CCSD Canvas. But to work on it in the same time, you do have to be in the same domain. But there is definitely ways to do that.
No, that answers it 100%. Thank you so much.
You can also share it in Commons, and people can search it in there. I call it the TPT of Canvas. The teachers pay teachers of Canvas, but it's free, right? That's what I told my teachers. So you can go on there and you can search for things. So you can also put things in there if you want people to find it.
But Commons is bigger than just CCSD. Oh, okay.
Make sure you take the CCSD filter off, because it defaults to the filter on. Take that filter off.
From your CCSD Canvas, you can only share to CCSD. That's another reason why I like to use my personal Canvas, because I can only share from CCSD to CCSD. But when I work in my private Canvas and I upload it to the Commons, CCSD teachers, along with everybody else, can search for those materials.
I am officially stopping the recording.